In the third and final module of this training, we'll see how the call transfer protocols play out in cases inspired by real events. Before we dig into the scenarios, let's hear a word from the county's mobile response team.
I'm Wendy D. Moore, IMINE's Chief Programs Officer, who oversees the mobile response team for Prince George's County. We have been taking mental health distress and crisis calls in the county since December of 2021, and already have a positive track record working with local police and EMS. We look forward to the opportunity to deepen those relationships and to be true partners in the field. Our goal with individuals in crisis and their families is first and foremost to help them stabilize in place and avoid disruptive emergency room visits. However, when necessary, we are also credentialed to write emergency petitions when someone is a danger to themselves or others. We are already a part of the county's 988 ecosystem and look forward to being an extension of the 911 ecosystem as well through this integration project. Please don't hesitate to call our team for support on a scene.
This is the first of 4 scenarios we'll review to ground the theory in this training with concrete examples. In this case, someone is distressed due to having lost their job, and they are having suicidal thoughts, sometimes also called suicidal ideation. They call 911 for help. The 911 call taker determines that the person does not have an immediate plan to act on their thoughts. Since 988 is designed in part to be a suicide lifeline, this is a good fit for transfer for assistance. The 988 call taker provides counseling over the phone, and the caller feels better and appreciates the help they received. In our second scenario, we have a similar situation, but with a complexity. The suicidal person is holding a knife and says they may cut themselves. This changes the situation from one of simple suicidal ideation to imminent threat of suicide. The 911 call taker sends the police due to the weapon involved, and also EMS in case the person does hurt themselves or another person before the police can disarm them. In this case, even though police can write an emergency petition for psychiatric evaluation themselves, they still chose to call mobile response to the scene. Why? Because there is another distressed family member who can use significant support after police and EMS leave the scene and take the caller to the hospital for evaluation. So, rather than leave that family member alone in their distress, mobile response arrives to accompany and support them. In our third scenario, a mom calls distressed about her teenage son who is having a fit in his room. This is considered a second-party caller situation because the mom is calling on behalf of a known person in crisis. Since in the first stages of our program, we are not transferring second or third party 911 calls to civilian response, the 911 call taker will send the police to evaluate safety on the scene, and while the mom waits, she can be transferred to 988 for phone-based support. In our fourth and final scenario, we have a man experiencing psychosis in the form of hallucination. Since there are no immediate weapons, threats, or injuries, this is a good case for 911 to transfer to 988 for mental health assistance. However, as the scenario progresses, 988 determines that this man would benefit from in-person support. Therefore, 988 sends a mobile response team, which helps the man get back on his medication and receive further support from a family member. In this case, the man is fully supported without a police response and without being hospitalized. As we begin to wrap up our training, let's consider the main objectives of this 911 behavioral health integration program. Overall, success means getting callers the best fit response for their needs. In particular, when someone is experiencing mental health distress, we want to help them with rapid professional care, decreasing the need for police response and increasing the chances that person can be stabilized in place without being arrested or hospitalized. Over time, we will learn further lessons while implementing this program, and we'll roll those lessons back into our protocols to create continuous improvement. Here are some examples of what success will look like from a more measurable standpoint. While some of these metrics have specific target numbers, for others, a baseline will be provided after the data has been collected for 3 months. For the purpose of this discussion, what matters is the general directional goal for these metrics, whether increasing or decreasing. This concludes our training on 911 call transfers for the Behavioral Health Integration Program. If you have questions, please reach out to the point of contact provided for your agency below and on the next page. And don't forget to see the larger compilation of related resources at the TLC website, which you can reach from the QR code on the one-page handouts. Thank you for your time and attention today. We are excited to be joining other pioneers around the nation who are creating better integration between 911 and 988 behavioral health resources.